Words of Sri Aurobindo from the book The Mother, Part 2, Letters on the Mother by Our Lord. Chapter Working of the Mother's Force, page 145. What the mother did was to light the fire within. If you did not feel it, it must be because the outer covering has not yet allowed it to come through into the outer consciousness. But something in the inner being must have kept it and opened more widely. That is shown by your experience in sleep, for that was evidently an action of the mother in the inner being. The descent of the current in the spine is always a descent of the mother's force working in the centers to open them, and the strong force of the current you felt is an evident proof that the wider opening is there. You have only to persist, and the effect both of the fire and the force will come out in the surface consciousness, for always there is a preparatory work behind the wheel in the inner being before the wheel thins or disappears, and all the working can be done with the participation of the outer consciousness. Date 22nd April 1937. Sri Aurobindo continues to say, something is growing in you, but it is all inside. Still, if there is the steady persistence, it is bound to come out. For instance, this white dazzling light with currents. It is a sure sign of the force, the mother's, entering and working in the adhara, but it came to you in sleep, that is to say, in the inner being, still behind the wheel. The moment it came out, the dryness would disappear. 5th February 1937. Question. Since the evening, the working of the force has begun. During the evening darshan of the mother, my consciousness opened itself before her more widely than ever before. For this, Sri Aurobindo says, very good. The force usually works in that way, with interruptions and returns growing each time stronger and fuller. Date 4th August 1934. The next topic, oneness with the mother's universal consciousness. Sri Aurobindo says, the consciousness of the mind, life, body in each person is ordinarily shut up in itself. It is narrow, not wide, sees itself as the center of everything, judges all things according to its own impressions. It does not know anything as it really is. But when by yoga one begins to open to the true consciousness, then this barrier begins to break down. One feels the mind grow wider. Even in the end, the physical consciousness grows wider and wider until you feel all things on yourself, yourself one with all things. You then become one with the mother's universal consciousness. That is why you feel the mind becoming wide. But also, there is much above the human mind, and it is this which you feel like a world above your head. All these are the ordinary experiences of our yoga. It is only a beginning. But in order that it may go on developing, you must become more and more quiet, more and more able to hold whatever comes without getting too eager and excited. Peace and calmness are the first thing, and with it, wideness. In the peace, you can bear whatever love or ananda comes, whatever strength comes, or whatever knowledge. The next topic, the universal and the transforming power. Question: the more we open individually to the Mother's light and force, the more her power is established in the universal. Is it not? For this, Sri Aurobindo says, it is the transforming power that is established. The universal power is always there. Date 13th August 1933. The next topic, the mother's force and the gunas. Question: when one feels the mother's force acting through him and not his own, is it the mother's force alone that works in his actions and the gunas remain quiescent? Sri Aurobindo says, no, the gunas are there and not quiescent, for they are the intermediation. If the force and the inner consciousness are very strong, then there is a tendency for the rajas to become like some inferior form of tapas and the tamas to become more like a kind of inert sama. That is how the transformation begins, but usually it is very slow in its process. Date 29th January 1936.